Hi guys, I just wanted to come on here and make a quick video about creating art because I have just found that I feel so much better now that I'm creating more art. And you know, something that I really struggle with is feeling like I don't really have a good sense of purpose. But I found that, you know, ever since I've just been more creative and just really let myself create whatever without it necessarily being good, it's really helped me so much in my own peace of mind, because I used to really think that I really struggled with being creative, and that's not the truth. I think I've always been creative. I just am, you know, I see so many other people, you know, it's so easy to go online and just look at all these other artists who make amazing things, you know, and for me, I feel like I don't really have any like technical skills when it comes to things like, I don't know, like drawing or painting or playing music or, you know, just anything. And it's really important to always have creative outlets, even when you're making something that isn't necessarily meant to be shown off or profitable or like valuable. I think any art is valuable as long as it's, you know, as long as it's for your own creative expression. I don't think that your art has to be something that looks amazing and you have to create a masterpiece every single time that you make art. You know, you can make something knowing going into it that it's going to be bad, and there is still so much value in that, because for me, I just have found that when I'm not allowing myself to be creative, I just feel so lost and like I have no purpose, and I'm kind of depressed, and I don't have motivation to do the things that I should be getting done because it seems pointless. But I'm like, when I'm creating things and I'm making art, like nothing's pointless, right? Like I have something to get up for every day, and something that is valuable whether or not it's technically good, you know? I make videos so often and I don't always post them because I don't feel proud of them and I don't feel like they are worthy of being shared with people, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that I wasted my time or something because it's not exactly up to my standards or what I think people on the internet standards are, you know, because it lets me like just get like, it's just an outlet. It just lets me like, I can just like, I don't even know how to describe it in words, but it's like if I'm not allowing myself to be creative and make art, then I feel so stuck. I feel stuck, and I feel like this like icky, gooey feeling inside of me. And you know, this video in itself, I mean, the lighting's not great. I'm in my pajamas. My hair's kind of fucked up. I'm talking quiet because I don't want the people in my house to hear me. And it's kind of late. So, you know, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start making something. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people do. You know, I think you just have to be careful with what your intentions are. And that's not to say that, you know, you can't try to make a masterpiece, and, you know, that doesn't mean that you should always have low expectations for yourself, but sometimes, you know, with certain things, let yourself have low expectations, or let yourself have no expectation at all, because if you just turn all of your art into work, I feel like you just kind of lose your love for it. And I don't think that, for me, that's just not the point of art, you know? To me, then it kind of can lose its value if all you're doing is making it into work, at least for me. And, you know, it's okay if you want to profit off of your art and make that your work. I'm not saying not to do that, you know. That's a lovely thing to strive for and to achieve. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, for me, I just felt like I had to go into everything I was making with the intention of making it great, or I might as well not bother at all. And that meant that 99% of the time, I would not bother at all to make anything ever. Or I would just end up giving up on it when I realized that I didn't quite have the skill set yet to achieve whatever it is that I wanted to achieve. And to me, that's just a waste. Not creating is a waste, you know? It's like, when it comes down to choosing to scroll on your phone for hours, or sit on the couch and watch Netflix for like 5 hours, or, I don't know, play guitar or sing or draw or make a video, even if it sucks, even if it's kind of terrible, to me it's just like, that's less of a waste. Because it's one of those things is clearly just more fulfilling. And you know, sometimes when I make art, I don't necessarily feel more, it doesn't exactly make me happier. A lot of times I make art that has to do with painful things, and it doesn't always make me feel happy, but it does make me feel more free and in control. And those are things that I always talk about, like, that I crave, you know. And yet sometimes I still stop myself from doing what I love and letting myself have some sort of purpose, even if it's not what other people say should be you should derive a sense of purpose from, you know. Some people think that your purpose should be, like, I don't know, from your job or like starting a family or something like that. And to me, that just doesn't resonate. Plus, I'm young, so why would either of those things resonate with me? Like, what? I think we live in a world, especially in America, where everybody thinks that your ultimate goal in life should be to make money and find a good partner and then have kids, and you know the story. And I'm not saying not to go after any of those things. Of course, it's great to have money, to have a stable job. You know, you want stability in your life. But I don't know, I feel like I've just rejected all of those things quite a bit, because I hate the idea of that being the purpose of my life. And I feel like, but it's also so deeply ingrained in me that, you know, when I'm looking around and I'm not necessarily doing what everybody else is doing, I feel behind, and I really start to question myself, and I feel kind of alienated from other people. But at the same time, I reject it so much because, well, I just hate it. I just hate it. And I figure, okay, well, least I can do is like do something with those feelings, because that's what kind of art is to me. Is it's like an outlet for the way I feel, and I feel that I let my emotions control me so much, so often, all the time. And weirdly, when I'm not making art, I just feel like I reject any sort of structure in my life, and I have no discipline and no, just no structure, no discipline. But it's weird because I thought that if I let myself be more creative, then that would just take up all my time, and then I wouldn't have time to, do school and work on my mental health and, all these different things. But hell, I've spent so much time doing so much introspection and just getting so caught up in my own mind and overanalyzing every little thing that I do and I think and the way I spend my time. And I just realized that I just got too caught up in it. And the greatest way for me to release that is just by making things. And it's not figuring out exactly why I am the way I am in every moment, and just all this sort of bullshit that I get like caught up in my mind. So I don't know, if you feel like you've got no purpose, you spend too much time on your phone, you're maybe you don't have friends, or maybe you just feel like something's missing, and you got all this stuff inside you and you don't know how to let it out. Like, just make art, even if it fucking sucks, even if it's trash, even if you just throw it in the garbage after you make it, like whatever it is. And like, making art is different for everybody. So maybe you don't even call it that, but just having some sort of creative outlet is like my everything right now. So I don't know, maybe this is like some good motivation for you to just like start making shit. Because I really felt like I've been sitting around for so long waiting for my ultimate purpose in life to just dawn on me. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't necessarily know that my purpose is ever going to be able to be like one just like clear statement, and then I'll know what to do with all of my time from that point on. I think that making art is just the best I can do. And I look insane and I need to go to bed now. So that's all I got for you. Good night.